Hey team, welcome to this next YouTube video. Today we're going to talk about how you can structure your pre-round or pre-competition putting routine. So this is going to be when you have a competition or a round coming up, how much time should you spend on the green and how should you structure that time before you then go out and play. This is really important as you want to be ensuring that you're warming up on the green, getting the pace of the green speed and just ensuring that your feel is there on the day, and then also calibrating your start line and just ensuring that your start line is on point. So let's jump into this video where we're going to discuss all of the above and give you a really good pre-round routine. So I want you to break down your pre-round routine on the putting green into 3 parts. You're going to start with mid-range putts, then you're going to go to some short putts, then you're going to go to some longer putts. But when you're doing each section, you've got to ensure that you're training them up correctly. So with the mid-range putts, that's what we're going to start with. This is going to be purely just about calibrating your start line and just warming yourself up, because these could be the first few putts that you're going to be hitting of the day. So it's just going to be about calibrating yourself, getting your alignment right, ensuring that the stroke is working how it should. This is the first part where we're going to want to use some sort of help instead of just using just the green and just putting without any sort of aid. So what everyone has is tees, and what you can do with the tees when you're just starting your pre-round warm-up on the green is you can set a little gate up the width of your putter. So you can see here I've got around about, say, a 12-foot putt, nice mid-range putt, and I'm going to be just setting the tees up just either side of my putter, making a gate. Obviously the closer you set up the tees to your putter, the harder it's going to be. So I'd recommend not giving yourself a lot of leeway, as this is just going to really test you, and just ensure that you're firstly getting your lines right and then you're coming through impact in a good position. So when you're setting up and you've made your gate, you're going to want to make this the first third of your routine. This is actually my first part of the day, so you can obviously see I've hit that one way too far past. Also then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting feedback of the green speed, and then I'm also going to be calibrating myself. So as I've got these set up properly, you can see that I'm getting my lines right, and then I'm just going to be practicing a nice smooth stroke through the tees, just trying to really focus on a nice centered strike and then keeping that putter going through the tees smoothly. So when you spend a good amount of time on that same putt, really just sort of focusing on trying to have a nice neutral path, then we can then move on into the next part, and that's going to be the middle part of your pre-putt routine. This is then going to be going into the short putts. So when you spent the first third of your pre-round routine on the green on the mid-range putts, just calibrating the start line and calibrating the stroke itself, now we're going to move into the second part. So as we said, we're going to start with mid-range, then go to short-range putts, and then go to long-range putts. So as this is the second part, we're going to be focusing on short-range putts. Your drill for your short-range putts is going to be firstly about mixing it up. So you can see here I've got 4 tees, almost in like a clock form around the hole. And what I want you to do when you're now moving on into this second part is focus on going around this clock a good 3 or 4 times, and just making sure that you're getting around about 20 putts, just going from around about a 6 foot and in length. And I'm just going to be practicing going round the clock, ensuring that I'm dialing in on the short putts and really gauging the green speed on the day. Not only that, where every putt's different, the slope's going to be different. So this one is going to be a right to left, and then the one on the other side is going to be a left to right. So not only are you practicing the distance control from a short distance, you're also practicing from different slopes, because every putt's going to be different. And that's going to really set you up in a good position when you go onto the course. So say I'm going to start here. And again, I'm reading this from right to left, so I'm just going to try and just play it exactly where my read is. Just about went in there. Then I'm going to move around into this part. I'm going to reread it. This now is changing a little bit, so I'm now reading this from left to right. And again, I'm going to try and put a nice good stroke on it, going at my start line. Cool, and again, just about made them both. So as you can see there, what I'm going to do is then keep going around a good 4 or 5 times, try and get around about 15 to 20 putts in. Obviously, them 2 putts there were my first 2 short putts of the day. So as I keep going around the circle, I'm going to get better and more confident at these short ones. What you can also start to do is treat it more like an on-course situation. So when you come around maybe the second time, after you feel like you're comfortable with the pace, then you can start lining the ball up and running through your routine that you would do when you're on the course. And again, going from there. So now we're going to move on into the third part, which is going to be the long range putts, and these are going to be the putts you finish on. A good drill for this, again, all you need is 4 tees. So you can start to see now that in all 3 of these sections, all you need is your putter, balls and some tees. So there's no excuse for not doing it. Everyone can do it. It's not like you need a specific training aid or anything like that. So after now we've worked on the short to the mid-range putts, now we're going to go further back. We're going to start here with around about a 20-foot putt. Every putt we're going to go up a step, and I want you to repeat this until you get up to the 40 to 50-foot mark. So again, you can see here, I've got myself from 20 feet. I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to then try and really gauge the pace now from this range. I should have a rough idea after my mid and short range putting practice. So again, I'm going to roll it down there. Am I giving it enough? No. On all of these ones, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you finish them off, as this is going to be really bringing in that on-call situation. You want to be trying to two-putt all of these ones at least. So once you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up your tee. You're going to take 1 step away from the hole, and then you're going to pop the tee back in the ground. So now let's say we're around about 23 feet. And you're going to repeat this process. You're going to go from 20 all the way up to at least 40 to 50 feet. That's going to be around about 10 to 12 putts there. So I'm 23 feet back, let's say, and I'm going to go through the same process. I could run through my routine. I can line the ball up. And again, I'm obviously going to be aware that I've got to hit this one a little bit harder. And then I'm going to go from there. Hit it harder, but still left it short. So again, I'm going to be giving myself that feedback. So there we go then. Now after working through about 6 stages, I'm now around about 35 feet away from the hole, because I've gone up each stage and I've made a 2-putt on all of them. So you can see here, I'm lining up to now 30-foot putt. I'm going to run through my routine and just again try to really get the feel now from this distance. Cool, not bad. Same rules applies. I'm going to make sure that I tap it in. Wouldn't recommend doing that when you're on the course. So there's all 3 parts covered. You can see that all I had was 2 balls and 4 tees, and that routine took me around about 30 minutes, which is probably a good enough time to spend on the green before you go out. You can also condense it down. The benefits of that routine is you've put yourself in every single situation possible, so then you're going to be prepared when you go onto the golf course. So give that pre-round or pre-competition round routine a go for me. Let me know how you get on in the comment section below, and I'll see you next week.